Once upon a time, there was a girl named Alice that dreamed of living in a world full of madness. Alice and her sister would go out every afternoon to read a while. But that day, Alice was very bored. Suddenly, a very elegant white rabbit ran right past the two girls.
I'm late! I'm late!
The rabbit said, just before disappearing down into his rabbit hole. Alice, full of curiosity, decided to follow him. The girl crawled into the rabbit hole. It was so dark that she tripped and fell down a deep well. It seemed bottomless. After a while, Alice arrived to a great room full of doors. Just then, the rabbit dashed through the smallest door. On the other side of the room, Alice found a small crystal bottle. Full of curiosity, she took a sip, and then she became tiny. Now she was so small that she couldn't open the door. Luckily, she found a box full of cookies that said, "Eat me." Alice took a bite and waited to see what would happen. And something sure did. She began to stretch like a telescope until she was 10 feet tall. She was so upset that she began to cry. Her tears were so big that they formed a big puddle on the ground. Alice drank from the bottle again to return to her normal size. But the only thing that happened was she became tiny again. Now the puddle of tears pulled into an ocean. Alice drank from the bottle again to return to her normal size. But the only thing that happened was she became tiny again. Now the puddle of tears pulled into an ocean. She swam to one of the doors and managed to slip through a keyhole. Finally, she had escaped that room. When she reached the shore, Alice found an old caterpillar seated on top of a mushroom. The caterpillar told Alice that if she ate a little of the mushroom, she would return to her normal size. And he was right. Finally, I'm back to normal. The girl continued walking around when she felt someone was watching her. When she turned around, she discovered a crescent moon smile, which turned out to belong to the Cheshire Cat. Together, they visited the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, who were wildly chatting over tea and crumpets in the garden. Alice had never been to such a strange tea party. Tired of all the madness, she silently snuck away out one of the little doors that she found. On the other side of the door, the girl discovered a beautiful garden. There were 3 gardeners painting all of the white roses red. They seemed to be in a big hurry. Suddenly, a very angry, shouting woman appeared.
Off with their heads!
Between all the shouting, the Queen realized that Alice was watching. So in order to get to know her better, she invited Alice to join her in a game of croquet.
Oh.
Alice accepted the invitation, but it turned out to be the strangest game of her life. Every time that the Queen missed, she would scream,
Off with their heads!
Alice was trying to lose so as not to displease Her Royal Highness, but that just infuriated the Queen even more. The Queen was so furious with Alice that she ordered that they cut off her head. To save herself, Alice requested a trial. All of the inhabitants of the kingdom were present for the trial. Everyone was very curious to see what would happen. The girl tried to defend herself, but nobody would listen to her. Alice was fed up with all of the madness. In spite of everything, the Queen was set on having Alice's head and ordered her guards to seize her. But then Alice woke up, lying across her sister's lap. It had all been a dream. It's so good to be home, said the girl, relieved. After all that, the real world isn't so bad after all.